I am an addict. To someone who hasn't trained, it surely sounds crazy that someone like me, or really anyone, would be willing to court injury like this for a sport that just looks like two people wrestling in pajamas. Jiu-Jitsu really is one of those things that you can't appreciate what's going on until you do it. And most other sports aren't like that. I mean, if you see a great skier or a gymnast or a diver, it's pretty easy to see what the thrill is, or what it would be if you could do those things well. But what could be the satisfaction of being able to hold someone down on the ground and not let him up? Training in BJJ offers a powerful lens through which to examine some primary human concerns: truth versus delusion, self-knowledge, ethics, and overcoming fear. So, with Jiu-Jitsu, you can really test to see whether something works, and there's really no luck involved. If you get on the mat with someone who's much better than you at Jiu-Jitsu, it's like playing someone who's much better at chess, right? You will lose. You will lose 100% of the time, and in ways that you will find astonishing. It really is like chess if each of the pieces could be moved 20 different ways. There are over 1,000 techniques at this point. It's just an amazingly deep game. I can now attest that the experience of grappling with an expert is akin to falling into deep water without knowing how to swim. You will make a furious effort to stay afloat, and you will fail. Once you learn how to swim, however, it becomes difficult to see what the problem is. Why can't a drowning man just relax and tread water? The same inscrutable difference between lethal ignorance and life-saving knowledge can be found on the mat. To train in BJJ is to continually drown, or rather to be drowned, in sudden and ingenious ways, and to be taught again and again how to swim. Whether you're an expert in a striking-based art, boxing, karate, taekwondo, or just naturally tough, a return to childlike humility awaits you. Simply step onto the mat with a BJJ black belt. There are few experiences as startling as being effortlessly controlled by someone your size or smaller, and despite your full resistance, placed in a chokehold or an arm lock or some other submission. A few minutes of this, and whatever your previous training, your incompetence will become so glaring and intolerable that you will want to learn whatever this person has to teach. Empowerment begins only moments later when you are shown how to escape the various traps that were set for you, and to set them yourself. Each increment of knowledge imparted in this way is so satisfying, and one's ignorance at every stage so consequential, that the process of learning BJJ can become remarkably addictive. I've never experienced anything quite like it. I mean, you find yourself being killed, which is to say put in a position where the other person could choke you to death if he wanted to, or break your limbs and then choke you to death. But he doesn't, obviously. And then you're shown what happened, and you're shown how to do it yourself, and how to keep it from being done to you. And this whole cycle takes like 20 minutes. So every time you train, you experience this amazing encounter with your own ignorance. Ignorance that would, in fact, have killed you had that been a real fight. And then it gets remedied with knowledge. And the knowledge comes in the form of moves that you can actually do, right? You're not being shown how to do a backflip on a balance beam that will take you years to perfect. We're talking about gross motor moves that you can actually do correctly after very little practice. And again, until you've experienced this, you really can't believe the difference between knowledge and ignorance in this domain. It is every bit as decisive as the difference between not knowing how to swim and being totally safe in the water. If someone doesn't know how to swim and falls in the deep end of the pool, he's going to die quickly. And it makes no sense, right? I mean, if you know how to swim, you look at this and think, he's moving his arms and legs furiously, right? In fact, he's probably expending as much energy as Michael Phelps in the pool, and yet it makes no difference. When you train in Jiu-Jitsu, you get to be that drowning man, and then you get to stop being him again and again and again. So it's like chess, where you die and get resurrected. And it's much more complicated than chess, because there are literally at this point over 1,000 different moves.